Right, so we're going to go ahead and set up our calorimetry experiment. I've grabbed a ring stand from underneath the sink. I'm going to need to grab a ring clamp from my hardware drawer. Go ahead and secure that on. You'll adjust the height as necessary when you get there. What we want to do is we want to suspend this soda can using the tab at the top. So I'm going to grab a glass stir rod, which is in your glassware drawer because it's glass. And you can just go ahead and put your can up and then go ahead and thread the glass stir rod through. And now it's on. What we're going to do, we're going to put a little piece of aluminum foil underneath so that we don't ruin the ring stand and we don't get any food on there. We just have to clean it up. And then you're going to have a cork with a little piece of aluminum on it as well with a little spike at the top. And that's going to go on the aluminum foil there. Last thing I want to do to go ahead and set this up is to put a thermometer in here. We don't want it to touch the bottom, so we're going to go ahead and grab a burette clamp. Normally they're used to clamp burettes, but today we're going to use them to clamp a thermometer. So it goes through the center hole there, and you can just turn it and secure it where you like. And then you can go ahead and press the little tab here, open it, and then you can take the temperature of the water without touching the bottom of the can. All right. So now we're all set up. So now we're going to go ahead and grab our food samples. So I've grabbed some forceps, fancy word for tweezers, and some weighing boats to go ahead and grab my food sample. So I'm going to go ahead and put a weighing boat on the scale here. Then I'm going to press 0 to bring it around 0. It might fluctuate a little bit if they've just been turned on, but should read around 0. So I'm going to grab my first food sample. You'll want to write this down in your data table. So I'm grabbing a marshmallow first. Go ahead and grab it with my forceps. Right. So around 0.56. I'm now going to grab my next food sample. The first one was a marshmallow. This one is going to be a corn pop. I'm going to put my weighing boat on the scale, 0 it out, put my corn pop in, and we have about 0.26. Last one I'm grabbing is a Cheeto Puff. 0. The mass of that is 2.17. So make sure you have all of those in your data table. So I'm going to start out by grabbing some water. The amount doesn't really matter. I would just keep it consistent throughout all your trials. You can grab between 50 to 75 milliliters. The more you grab, the less the temperature will change. So I tend to go with a little bit less. I'm going to go with 50 milliliters. So I'm going to grab my graduated cylinder and fill up to the 50 milliliter mark, just using tap water. So I've grabbed 50 milliliters of water. With water, 1 milliliter of water is equal to 1 gram of water. So you can record this as 50 grams of water in your data table because we need the mass. But we don't need to get it on a scale because the volume is equal to its mass. We're going to go ahead and pour this in our soda can calorimeter. And looking at our thermometer here, we're going to take the initial temperature of our water sample. And what we want to see is how much it goes up after we burn our food sample. So currently it's at room temperature, obviously no shock there, at around 19 degrees Celsius. So that's what we're starting with. We're going to measure everything in degrees Celsius. And what I notice here is this is a little bit far away from my burning food sample. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this down just a little. Just to minimize the energy lost as much as possible. All right, I'm going to grab my food sample and then go ahead and stick it on here. You can use your hands or a forceps, doesn't really matter. I'm going to start with the marshmallow. Stick it on there. I'm just going to grab a butane lighter and light it. All right, now it's on fire, so we'll go ahead and wait. So it's transferring energy from the marshmallow to the water sample. And the final temperature of our water is 23 degrees Celsius. So now we're going to go ahead and set up our next experiment, just cleaning off that marshmallow and putting on the corn pop. All right, so I've set up my corn pop here. I've grabbed new water. So I want to start with room temperature water. I'm going to go ahead and pour it in. Initial temperature should be around the same. And I'm reading around, again, 19 degrees Celsius. So I'm going to go ahead and ignite my corn pop. And there it goes. It didn't fully burn, so I'm going to grab the other side. There we go. Last little bit. Okay. And our final temperature here is 24 degrees Celsius. Grabbed our last food sample, and then again another 50 milliliters of water. I'm going to go ahead and pour that in. Take the initial temperature. Again, I would imagine around the same. Yep, we are at 19 degrees Celsius. All right, last one here. We're going to put our cheese puff on. I'm going to have it to where it's vertical. It looks like I'm a little too close here, so we're going to have to scoot this apparatus up. All right, there we go. Okay, and we're going to light this up. All right. Our final temperature here is 58 degrees. And we're done with our data collection.